you need to make this DIY air purifier. Come on, it's easy. I'll show you. Just go to literally any box store and you will find everything you need to make this. We need a 20-inch box fan for like 24 bucks. We also need some 20 by 20 furnace filters. Get the strongest ones you can find, which I have a guide about how to buy them in my playlist, don't worry. We're at like 60 bucks total for this compared to 90 for this air purifier. Yeah, this is worth it. I'm going to show you guys every step for this, okay? Now, this box fan comes with these little feet things. We do not need those. I just threw them away. Though you do need to save the box because we're actually going to use the cardboard from that to make the rest of our little cube. Use the filters to measure out a 20 by 20 inch square and then cut them out. Super awesome. Oh yeah, it's probably easier if you like break the box apart first. That's what I'm doing here. You may get better results using like a razor or something to cut this cardboard or a box cutter. These scissors were an absolute pain, and I do not recommend using scissors for cardboard. But they're what I had on hand, so that's what you get. By the way, you can make this with more or fewer filters than I used in this video. More filters means less cardboard you gotta cut out, so keep that in mind. By the way, do you guys remember these rulers? Yeah, I think every millennial owned one at some point. Here I'm just double checking that everything kind of lines up with the fan itself. And as you can see, it lines up really nicely with the filters, so we're good to go. Now, I did need a little extra cardboard to make the additional sides as I'm only using 2 filters, so I went to Home Depot and got an extra large moving box, and I just cut it up. I also used one of these Home Depot squares to make the shroud that goes on the front of the fan at the end. You'll see. And make sure your fan is blowing in the right direction before you put this together, please. You want air coming in through the filters and out through the fan. Now that it is all cut out, it's time to tape it all together to make sure that it stays sturdy. I'm just using packing tape here because it's what I had on hand. Don't be afraid to use as much tape as you can on this thing. This is not the place to skimp. I'm taping multiple directions. I'm going over tape with other tape. I'm taping the backs of everything. Like, I am making sure this thing stays sturdy. And you also want to make sure that these gaps are relatively airtight, because if air gets through there, then it won't be getting filtered. You can already see that the box fan has rounded edges, and I'm making a perfect square up against it. So there will be gaps there that we are going to cover, and yes, I do cover them with lots of tape, don't worry. If you're wondering why I only have filters on the top and the back, it's because of where I'm going to put this thing. I'm putting it between 2 computer desks, so I want air filtered between the desks and above us, not to the sides. And here I taped it to the fan just so it stays sturdy while I'm making the rest of it. Oh yeah, I'm pointing out the corners here that we'll need to cover up. And I'm sealing under the fan on the inside. That's also very important. Air can come in there as well. You don't want that. But here we're going to actually put the filters on. You want to make sure that the filter direction is correct, because later in the video, I'd have an ADHD moment and forget to check the filter direction and have to rebuild it. But don't worry, I cut that part out. Anyway, yes, the arrow points inwards towards the inside of the box, which is good. You want that arrow pointing in where the fan goes in. And I'm just taping the filter to all of the sides here and getting the bottom and everything all taped nicely. You don't want any gaps, as I said. Keywords to keep in mind are airtight and sturdy. That's what you want in this sort of DIY air purifier. Most important things. Oh yeah, and if you're crafty, you can like make it look nice, but I'm not, so it doesn't. Okay, don't judge. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried it was gonna like fall to pieces when I moved it. But yeah, make sure that you are taping the sides to the actual box fin itself and sealing all of those gaps. Seal those gaps. We are the opposite of a mid-2000s mall in America because there are no gaps here. Even on the inside, look at that. I am being so precise. So tape is my passion. It was so satisfying putting that top filter on, knowing that I'm almost done. And then guess what? It was in the wrong direction. This is the part I was talking about where I had to like redo half of it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it in the video, if you can catch the direction of the arrow, but it is totally pointing out of the box, which is not how you want it, okay? If you disagree, talk about it in the comments, fight me. Oh, and here I am covering up those gaps in the corners I was talking about, very important as well. Oh yeah, be on the lookout for things like handles in these boxes that are perforated that you want to tape over, because there could be air that leaks through. I do that here, I cover that up, that's what I'm doing. I'm not just taping nothing. And we're almost done, so finally I have to make the shroud that goes over the front of the box fan that I was talking about earlier. So for this, I'm using a ruler and measuring out 7.5 inches to make a 15-inch diameter circle, which is about the size that you need for a 20-inch box fan like this. And then I'm cutting that circle out of the middle and throwing away the circle and keeping the outside part, and then taping that to the front of the box fan. If you want an explanation for what this shroud is doing, there's another video in this playlist, but also ask me about it. I'm happy to tell you. But those rounded corners are striking again, so you gotta cut those edges off the square corners to make them rounded and nice and flush with the box, and you want to seal all the way around this thing as well. You don't want any gaps either. And here I think I'm just going over everything else and making sure that it's all nice and snug, taping the corners like I was talking about. double checking the seal on the top, and then I realized the arrow's in the wrong direction and had to redo it. But I was done, so whatever. Oh, good lord. Oh, it fits! Yay! Please ignore how messy our desks are. You can see I wanted the sides to be covered so that they wouldn't cause excess stress on the fan, and I wanted all the filtration to come in the top and the back, where it would have the most open space around these computers, and it'll suck up dust and stuff from behind our desks, so I think it'll work pretty well. With how bad allergy season has been this year, I need this thing in here with me when I'm on my computer, and that's why